Good evening and welcome to Metro Focus. I'm Jenna Flanagan. As temperatures drop and winter approaches, thousands of people living in New York City public housing continue to suffer with heat and hot water outages. Cold, outraged, and fed up with NYCHA that has a long and tainted track record, tenants and city officials are eagerly seeking answers and solutions, and they want them now. At a press conference held this weekend, City Comptroller Scott Stringer, who was joined by city housing residents, gave NYCHA his bottom line.
I want every single piece of paper, every report, every managerial decision so that we can get to the bottom of these outages that keep happening year after year.
All this after an outage that left 4,200 residents of the Grant houses in Harlem without heat on Thanksgiving Day. Comptroller Scott Stringer has now served the Housing Authority a second subpoena. But will NYCHA finally release this housing information? And most importantly, will NYCHA residents finally get the warm winter they deserve? Here with more on this is New York Daily News reporter Greg Smith. Greg, welcome to the program.
Happy to be here.
I guess, unfortunate topic for us to be reporting on, but one you've been following. So first, tell us, what did we learn from the Comptroller's press conference?
Well, I mean, the origination of this situation was, I don't know if you remember last winter.
Of course.
And New Year's Day, the temperature kind of dropped to Arctic conditions and stayed like that for like 2 weeks. And during that time, the boilers across the city in the public housing developments were failing left and right. It was a disaster. And the city council ultimately held a hearing in which they revealed that there were more than 300,000 NYCHA tenants who went with either were dealing with heat outage or hot water outages or both during last winter's heat season, which is 300,000 is not quite. That's about 3/4 of all of the tenants. So pretty much
I was gonna say
3 out of 4 tenants
yeah,
had to deal with this nonsense last year. So that was last winter. What happened? Scott Stringer says, well, there's something wrong here, so we should maybe look into this. And so they began to ask the Housing Authority for the paperwork that's involved in this. And what does that mean? It's basically, you're a tenant, you call up they have a thing called Command Center, which sounds very impressive, doesn't it? And you call up the Command Center and you ask the people there, can you please send someone down here because I have no heat and I have a child, or I'm 80 years old and this is a terrible condition to be living in. So they then generate a ticket, that's what they call it. And then they allegedly send somebody there. That person is supposed to investigate. They're supposed to go to the apartment, but they're also supposed to go and check the boiler and they're check the heating system and so on. So Stringer wants the paperwork. What happened? What's the trail? And
because that was requested last year.
He requested it before you file a subpoena. You ask, right? So he asked them to produce this information. And they dawdled and they sent him some stuff, but not everything he was asking. And so finally in mid-November, November 13th, I think it was, he sent them a subpoena for the first time. He didn't say anything about this. He just kept it, kind of quiet because he's still trying to deal with these people. They turned over, again, some stuff, but not everything he was asking for. And so last Friday, he sent them another subpoena. This is the second subpoena in which he said, you gotta produce this stuff, and you gotta produce it by December 4th, I believe it is. So by the end of this week, these people have to come up with this stuff. And it's pretty detailed information about how each one of these work tickets was handled. The point being, what did they do last winter that they probably should not do this winter? And so that's what he's looking at. And that's good. I don't know when he's going to come out with his report, but it will be coming out fairly soon. And while this is happening, naturally, this is happening again this year. So in the first, I believe it was...
And when you say this is happening again, you're referring to
the heat
outages.
Heat outages and hot water outages in the first 3 weeks of the heat season. The heat season is officially October 1st. That's when that triggers when they start looking at this. And in the first 3 weeks of it, there were 70,000 tenants who had some form of heat outage. That's this winter. So
is there any
it's off to a
indication-
wonderful start.
Unfortunately, that's terrible for the tenants. But is there any indication as to why NYCHA hasn't been more transparent with this information? Like, why are they holding on to it?
They have a long tradition of being opaque. They do not, they give up information grudgingly. I've been dealing with this for years, trying to get them to explain, what's going on there. In this particular case, where you're dealing with people who are put in harm's way, frankly, because if you are, again, if you have children or if you're elderly, and even if you're just a regular person, having the temperature in your apartment drop into the 50s and in the 40s is frankly dangerous. And so it is considered, these are emergency conditions. That's actually a technical term for the city. If a landlord, any landlord, that's the public or private, the temperature drops below 65, then it's considered an emergency situation, and they know this. So what did they do? So over the summer, they went back and they apparently replaced boilers at 12 developments. There are 320 developments in the New York City Housing Authority. Now, some of them have pretty decent boilers already, so they did not need replacing. However, there are hundreds of boilers. There's a total of 1,966 boilers in this crazy system, and there are hundreds of them that the Housing Authority has red flagged as being essentially ready to break down.
Okay, so when it comes to getting the information so that we all know what exactly is happening or not happening with NYCHA, who is going to force their hand? What happens with the subpoena? Who's the person who says this has to be done?
Okay, so when Stringer issues a subpoena, he now has the court involved. So what would happen is, if they do not produce this material by December 4th, then he can now go back to a judge and say they're in contempt of this order, and the judge can then order them to comply immediately. And if they don't comply, then they would be in contempt of court. And so that's kind of the leverage that Stringer has. But again, what are we talking about here? We're talking about investigating what happened last year. In the interim, we have the same situation is beginning to emerge again, despite the fact that they are well aware of this problem and they're struggling to kind of stay ahead of the curve right now.
So then what would be the most important thing going forward, at least for NYCHA tenants? I mean, this information I think would help in terms of trying to figure out who we push more going forward. But for right now in the interim, if you're without heat, what do you do?
All right, so if you're a tenant, actually, if you're a public housing tenant or a tenant, you have an option, and that is once the temperature drops below a certain amount, the heat goes out, you don't notice it at first, but then all of a sudden you realize that it's a not a scary situation. If you're a tenant, you're not a public housing tenant, you call 311, and 311 essentially dispatches housing inspectors, which is a city agency called HPD. They are obligated to, within a certain amount of time, show up at your apartment with a little thermometer. They check the temperature. If it's below 65, they then do one of two things. They order the landlord to deal with this, or the city, if the landlord is like, they can't find him, he's MIA, they do it themselves, and then they bill the landlord. That's a non-public housing tenant. A public housing tenant is in a totally different situation. They have to call the command center and rely on the housing authority to come and do the same thing. And that is to send someone out to check the temperature and then to fix it within a 24-hour period. That's their goal.
But it does sound like the most important thing for people to do is to make sure there's a paper trail of there not being heat in their apartments.
Yeah. In order for anybody to be held accountable, you have to be able to look at how they performed. And that is the best way to do it.
All right, well, we're going to have to leave it there, but I want to thank you so much for your reporting, your dogged reporting, and following this so closely, because this is a crucial, important subject, especially for our city.
Thank you.